Episode 180 of the Terrell Effect. And we are here with Reno RX.
You?
Industry. What's going on?
Oh man, it's all good, brother. How are you?
I'm living good, living good. Trying to find my status right now. I have no idea where it is, but other than that, I'm blessed.
There it is.
How's life treating you?
I can't complain, man. I woke up this morning. I'm healthy. The family's healthier. Been in the lab all day creating best life possible.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I found my stylist. That right there is a sign that when you focus on the good, good will continue to find you.
That's a fact.
I could have sat here and complained about the fact that I couldn't find it and I needed it, whatever. But I said, you know what? Other than this, I'm blessed. And I continue to be blessed. So, yes, yes. Let's tell the people a bit about yourself. Like, where you from? What you do, and, you know, a little bit more about, the context of this song that's coming out soon.
Well, my name is Reno Rx. I'm from Flushing, Queens, and I'm a rapper slash producer, and most importantly, a father and a husband. Um, dropping a new album on the 19th of December called The Coliseum, which is going to be produced entirely by me. And that features from Nice to Future and
Okay.
Bayer. Um, yeah, it's going to be live. I got two projects
Okay.
out already. Well, probably more than two, but two that are for me only. One called The Freebase Pharaoh and another one called The Living God, which was produced by a producer from France named Digger.
Hold on. Free Base Pharaoh. That's a potent title.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a
Yes,
po-
sir.
that's a potent title. So, what was the goal with the first album?
To introduce myself to the world, to get them acquainted. And to tell you the truth, man, that's the goal with all these albums. The first 10 albums are just my hello to the world. They're free, they're for everybody. I want to show people why they should spend their money with me. So these are like testers I'm throwing out to the crowd. Let them get a feel for me.
Okay. We were talking behind the scenes a little bit. We're gonna revisit some of the tunes on the Terrell Effect. But what would you say is a driving force behind your pursuits?
My family.
Okay,
Um,
I can respect that.
I'm sorry.
I said I can respect that.
Yeah. Everything's about them at the end of the day. I want my daughters to see that, I chased my dream, did what I wanted to, and made something out of it, made it lucrative, so it didn't just have to be a hobby or, a money pit at that, because chasing a dream, you can invest a lot and not get any return. Thankfully, I
Yep.
haven't succumbed to any of those pitfalls.
Good. And yeah, that's right. Like, if I think the key to success is investing in oneself.
All day, all day. You'll
You
always
got to be
work for somebody else if you don't.
exactly. And the thing that I found is, and I saw this one time. I don't remember who it was that said it, but it was an actor that said, "I'm going to work a few years the way people won't, so I can live the rest of my life the way people can't."
That's right. That's right. That's
You know,
totally
you
true.
know what I mean? So when it comes to the drive, you know what I mean? Like, I can hear the passion in your voice when you're talking about it. Like, if there was a microphone in front of you right now, you'd just be eating it, right? So, like, when was your first experience with a microphone? Like, recording and performing?
Oh man. I don't know. I was 12 or 13 or something like that. I'm 43 years old, so we talk about 1992. Um,
Okay.
I was always friends with the older kids. I was always big for my age, so it was hard hanging out with kids that was my age because they were all smaller. But the older guys I used to hang around started rapping. Uh, Mike Hanaway, Randy Bazan, Modi, guys from my old neighborhood out in Flushing. And I followed behind them, but I never stopped.
Okay. All right. Ah. So it was members of the community that kind of say inspired you. Would you say inspired you to start rapping?
Oh, absolutely. I'm from the same neighborhood as rappers like Royal Flush, Mike Geronimo, Large Professor, the boxer Kevin Kelly, Shy Skills, who produced Onyx's whole first album. And when I say I'm from the same neighborhood as them, I mean we were all three of us, those names I mentioned, in the same building, and the others were two buildings away. So I had no choice but to be inspired by the community.
Okay. Okay. Well, we are a product of our environment.
Right.
So around that time, while you were starting off, let's say, who would you say? And again, this is all in our personal opinions. But who would you say was the premier rapper at that time? Like, who was the guy to beat when you started rapping?
For me, it was LL Cool J.
Ah, okay.
He was
Okay.
different. This is at a time where everybody was rapping about how they were proud to be black and wearing Africa patches and everything. But LL Cool J, he was rapping about extravagant lifestyles and, rocking these huge gold chains. And, I'm not to say that one style of rap is any better than the other, but
Of
he was
course.
the needle in the haystack at that time. Very, very different. He got criticized for it, and it seemed like every time they criticized him, the next album was hard. Then he
Yep.
dropped Mama Said Knock You Out, and shit, they dropped about 8 singles off that album, man. I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For me, like later on, is like he was one of the few rappers I was actually allowed to listen to growing up because he wasn't like, even though he was talking about the lavish lifestyle and wearing the gold chain, he wasn't propagating a gangster a gangster ideology. He was a more of a lover than a fighter, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. So that was one of those things that was accepted. Him and Rakim, because Rakim never swore. I think
Right.
he's one of the few that don't. And I mean, if you go down the list, I think that's part of the reason why hip hop has such a negative connotation. But what few people understand is that profanity comes from the passion from not being seen. And if that's what catches your ear, if that's what opens your ear to my message, that's what's going to be used.
Well, I both agree and disagree with that statement. I think hip hop has the negative connotation attached to it, mainly because it's black music. And throughout history, you see there's a pattern. First of all music is black music originally, but every
Church.
time they want to take it and capitalize it off of it, and I'll say they, I'll leave it at they, others, they have to
That was very
demonize the people they're stealing it from first.
that was very politically correct. Because I was gonna say, like, speaking of demonizing people, I'm not here taking up metal for anybody. I'm just saying I find it very ironic that as soon as certain people went to buy NBC, they became the scourge of the earth. But
Mhm. Yeah.
that's just to go with your point, you know what I mean? And you're right. It is. I just I find it funny, odd, and somewhat sad at the same time because it can be said that a lot of people want to propagate the lifestyle that we emulate, but few people want to live the stresses and the hardships that give us the stories.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, those others we spoke of, I, let me say I spoke of. They don't really have a culture. Their culture is a mishmash of all the other cultures that they pillaged and stole from. So it's only right they carry on tradition. And this isn't against everybody because everybody isn't the same. But generally speaking, there is a tradition of other cultures stealing from the black culture and demonizing us in the process.
Yep. Another example outside of music. um, I was, well, I still am a bit of a hockey fan, but growing up, that wasn't the thing. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't of that description, if you will. So, so looking now at the league to see the amount of influence, if you will, there has been over the last years since I played, it's hard not to feel like me trying for as long as I did might have made it possible for someone else to get past trying, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, somebody got to crawl for others to walk. Always.
Exactly. So, if in that regard, what would you say, or what could you confidently say you opened the door to? Like, and it's not a matter of what other people believe. What you know you've done. What would you say that you've pioneered in a sense?
Oh man. Well, first of all, like I said earlier, I'm 43, and I don't care who's out there. Nobody has pioneered coming off the bench in the fourth quarter to win the game like I have right now. Because I'm out here kicking ass, brother.
All
I'm
right.
dropping albums, the bars is serious. And there's MCs out there that are up in age. But I really came out the gate. For me, and I said this before during other interviews, it was important for me to establish myself first before I could get comfortable enough to get out here and follow my dreams because I liken it to you know, not going straight to college after high school, maybe traveling the world to get some real life experience. Because a lot of these rappers rap about shit they didn't see or experience. And it's like, they're very young and they didn't give themselves the chance to experience things. For
Mm,
me, I established myself. My family's good. I'm good. So now when I rap, I'm comfortable. When they ask me what I do, I make music. That's my only job.
nice. And you know what? It's an inspiration and a testament because myself, I just turned 39, and I find, and I've had this conversation with a few of the other people that I've talked to in this industry, or in this genre specifically. I don't find people to be as respectful of their elders as they could be, knowing that it's their like, and I'm saying this with all due respect, knowing it's like the LLs, the Bustas, the Ice Cubes, the Dre's, the Timberlands, the you know what I mean. They're not putting them on the same pedestal as they would like the rock stars do or like the metalheads do and things like that. And that bothers me. Not only because I'm in this industry and getting older, but because I'm one of the people who actually does show respect for those who have come before me.
Well, yeah, I think that goes back to the negative connotation that hip hop has, like you said earlier. It's seen as a rebellious thing, because we did what we wanted. At a time it started when they took our music programs and they wouldn't teach us how to play instruments in the schools, so we did what we wanted. We started cutting out break beats. Every time black people do something to better themselves, and now not even just black people, I'll say people of the hip hop culture because there's a whole generation that came up knowing nothing but hip hop. But every time we do something to better ourselves, it's seen as rebellious,
Mm,
and nothing is equated to being rebellious more than youth. So I think that plays a strong part in hip hop being so youth orientated. But on the flip side, those names you name who don't get the respect they deserve, the Tims, the Buster, the LL Cool J, these are old lions with a lot of stripes, and you
Hmm.
could talk that talk, but they don't test the old lions. Not for real, not in real life. I
No.
mean, take me for instance. Like I put it out there for anybody. I will bar any rapper, old, young, to death. I don't care. And like I don't just talk it. Like physically speaking, you know, I'm in that gym every day. I'm 6'2", 300 pounds, and I'm fast. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I'm battle tested and ready for more, and that goes for a large percentage of the people who are older in hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, like I myself, I sit 6'3" to 60-ish.
You see
So
what I'm saying? You see?
yeah, yeah, and like I've had people walk up to me and look at me like I'm just like 5'2", and I just have to say, "Yo, hold on a second."
Yeah.
It's like okay, for example, okay, for to be a man from Queens, which is could be considered the epicenter of hip hop, one of the epicenters of hip hop, to go to somewhere like Illinois, right? To know you establish yourself in Queens, and then to go to somewhere like Illinois and have them question your metal. Does that not bother you at all?
No, I like competition in all forms. So no,
Okay,
no.
okay. So how do you get over that? What kind of mentality do you adapt to overcome a hater then?
Oh, haters? I don't I don't know. They don't really exist to me. Haters. I look for the people who aren't haters, who are just like competition. The people who are or as good, or maybe even I might perceive them at one point as better than me. Like I'm here to do battle. But
Okay.
that doesn't mean when I say that I don't mean to physically harm anybody. If it comes to that, that's what it is. Hopefully it doesn't. But
Knock it out. Yep.
I'm here to test my sword at every point. I'm not here
Yep.
to make friends. That's a delightful byproduct. But I'm competing. I'm here for that.
Yep. That's that hunger. That's that passion I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
All right. So what would you say up till now is your crowning achievement in your career?
Oh, in my career, oh man, I don't know if I can answer that question straight because my crowning achievement are my daughters and my wife. You know,
Okay.
yeah, and
It's
that's
good to,
not really in my career, but it is because I'm a father and a husband first.
yeah.
In that respect, fuck rap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's nothing I'm more proud of than those things. Um, living the life I led to be 43. I didn't expect to be 18.
Mm,
So that's kind of an achievement for me too.
okay. Okay. True, true. And we gotta count our blessings every time.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
all right. So what would you say, like, okay, when you started, between when you started and now, what would you say is the biggest change you've noticed in the game?
Between when I started rapping,
Yeah.
um, well, I've seen the respect and simultaneously the hate for hip hop grow. Hip hop is 50, I'm 43, so that means we almost grew up together side by side damn near. And
Yes, sir.
I think it's amazing from, Run DMC getting an Adidas endorsement
Yep.
to now shit, Jay-Z's a billionaire, you
Right.
know, Do It All is, I think he's like a senator or some shit out in Jersey, from Lords
Okay.
to Underground. Queen Latifah got a Tony. Most Def got a Tony. 50 Cent is he's 50 Cent.
Hold
He's
on,
a
hold on.
TV mode. You know, it's
Pull,
I seen a
pull it
lot of
back.
things. Huh?
Pull it back. Most Def got a Tony?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Holy
I feel
shit,
pretty
yo.
confident saying that, yeah.
I fuck with Most Def. He got it all, man. He's a good comedian. I watched 16 Blocks with him and Bruce Willis.
Oh man, that's like his light work. He got this one, I can't remember the name of it, but he played like the this black doctor. Um he's an incredible actor, but he's done Broadway shit. You know,
Okay.
yeah, he's a beast.
That's news. That's news, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mad. That's mad. Okay, so if you had your pick of artists to collaborate with, which five would you pick, dead or alive?
Biggie, Nas, 50 Cent, Ghostface, Eminem.
Okay, okay. You put it into the universe. Let's see what happens. Let's see what
That
happens. You never know, bro. You never know unless you believe. And if you believe, then you already know.
right.
All right. So now we're here. Um, now you said you're what, 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'2". Yep.
6'2", 300 pounds. So what sports do you play? Or like if you were to play a sport, what would your sport of choice be?
Oh shit, it'd have to be football because I I don't know, maybe there's some now I'm sure there's basketball players my size, certainly way taller than me, but I don't know about weight wise. But for me, my thing that I actually do now is powerlifting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
really I'm doing that. I'm working out 5 days a week.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's been my thing for years. You know what I'm saying? Right now I can throw up 550 on the bench, 545 on the bench.
My
You
guy
know,
said he could bench press me plus almost twice. He said he could almost bench press two of me. Yeah. Wow. 550.
There's a lot of you.
That's a lot. That's almost an engine. That's about an engine. You can bench press an engine.
you're working, man. I'm telling you.
That's I was happy the other day when I moved my dryer by myself. My dude could pick up the front end of a car. All right, cool, cool. So now, because I have, admittedly, to be fully transparent, I have a weight system in my house. I don't remember the last time I used it. So what? How do you get into that workout mentality?
Um, well, for me, I have an addictive personality. But I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I do three things every day.
Hmm.
Um, I do music, I
Okay.
exercise, and I spend time with my family. And it's only those three things I do. There's nothing outside of that. So for me, if I didn't exercise, um, I'd be lost. If I wasn't with my family, I'd be lost. If I didn't do music, I'd be lost. So I made it so I really don't have a choice.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm sitting here like I got two out of three. I mean, it's not that I don't exercise. It's just I don't know what I do seems so strenuous that I convince myself it's enough exercise, but I think I actually need an exercise regimen where I put in at least, I mean, 15 to 45 minutes of some kind of activity.
You know, I say people always ask me for tips on working out. I'm not saying you're asking that, but people always ask me. And there's all these fancy commercials and advertisements and shit. But the real deal is start off by just walking and drinking water. Like, walk for half an hour a day. Drink a gallon of water a day. For guys like me and you, we're bigger guys, maybe a gallon and a half. But even with that, you gotta be easy because there's such thing as water poisoning. But
Yeah, this. This is my water jug. I don't drink the whole thing in a day, but I carry it with me in the event that I need it. It's 4 liters of water,
Yeah,
so it's
that's
about a
good money
gallon.
right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good money. You know, yeah, just like I don't drink anything except for water. You know, if I'm celebrating, I might have a glass of milk. You know, that's about how crazy I get.
Wow. Okay. When you said if I'm celebrating, I might have a glass of it. I'm like, I thought he was about to say champagne or maybe Henny. My dude said milk. Yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
man.
no, I can respect that though because like you're strengthening your bones, right? You're celebrating life by promoting it in your activities. This is the kind of thing I can get behind.
Yeah, I'm very boring as far as the rap lifestyle goes, but it's because I don't do that. I don't have to party. I kick it with my family. I've done all the dumb shit already.
Yep, and I think you're that's where I've been at. Like I'll have people over to my house occasionally, but unless I'm hosting, like I mean, I'm performing December 3rd at the warehouse. Robbie G's coming to town. Pluto Han's gonna be on stage. A bunch of local artists are gonna be going. Ezra's supposed to be performing as well on one of the collabos. So, like when it comes to going out, I usually go out to perform. And if I'm not performing, I'm probably at home or helping someone with something. There's there's no want for it as much as there was because I started clubbing at 14. Like I said, I'm turning 40 next year. Uh,
And see, that's where that experience and seniority comes into play. You
mhm,
know, the youngins, they gotta go through things to know things, and I don't
mm,
knock them, you know, but I've been through that. I'm not interested. I'm good.
mhm. Like I don't know. I'm a sucker for attention, so I go out like whenever the situation calls for it. And because I have a tendency of getting set in my own ways, I'll step outside of my comfort zone if I find I've been there for too long. But yeah, for the most part, I've done a lot, and I don't want the wrong thing to catch up. Yeah.
No, yeah, yeah. Listen, I've realized I've reached my breaking point. Maybe it was about, I don't know, man, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I'm sitting in my house. I got my 7 Series parked outside. I'm on the couch wearing all my jewelry. And I'm like, nobody can see this shit. None of this shit matters. I don't feel the need to go out and hang out with people. I just realized, like, what am I doing? And I needed a lifestyle change, that fit me more. Because as a younger, speaking for myself personally, I realized a lot of that shit is about altering people's perception of you. People
Hmm.
who 95% of the time don't even matter.
At all.
Yeah, so I got on my shit. I said, what matters to me? And now I tell you the truth, I feel like a billionaire. I live the life. I make music, I work out, and I hang out with my family. And I hang out with
Yeah.
my family. And you know how hard people work to be able to do things like that?
So hard, fam. I've heard so many people complain about not being able to do the things I do on a daily basis, and I do not take that for granted. That's one of like I work from home, right? And before COVID, that was like frowned upon. Now people are envious. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep.
Right now, I have a production studio in my basement, stage set up. In the living room, I have the podcasting studio, but it was pulled apart because we went to Toronto this week to watch FX May Vary open for Anvil, and that was a hell of a show. You know what I mean? So I've stretched out my house to the point where it's always functioning in a way that is either enjoyable or profitable.
Right. Right. Listen, that's the same shit I'm on, man. There's nothing wrong. At the end of the day, that's what everybody's striving towards, to get comfortable in life and to be able to do the things they want to do. And
Yeah.
now that's why I'm 43 and I rap. Because I
Hmm.
did all that. I got all that shit. These dudes are chasing. I'm there.
Yeah. 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 It's a beautiful thing. It's a
I'm not
beautiful
mad.
thing. Yeah. 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 All right. Well, we're at about the halfway mark of the show. And this is where I like to flip the script. Now, when I flip the script, I give the guest the opportunity to be the host and make whatever statements they may have or ask any questions if there are any. So, Reno RX, you have the floor as I flip the script on Candid Conversations.
Oh, okay, awesome. I like that. Well, let me ask, where are you located right now?
Right now, I am speaking to you from the land where they cheers PBR and OV. This is Welland, Ontario, Canada.
Oh
Yeah,
shit. Okay, okay.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of America? The United
Honestly,
States, excuse me, United States.
the United States, I think the United States is a fun place, but there's a lot of fuckery.
Oh,
Like
fuck.
politically, specifically politically. But
That's one way, but yeah.
you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's like the level of communication. If the level of communication was there between the streets and the corporations, I think there'd be a lot less tyranny.
Mhm.
But like, it's just, I think the way they have, like, I mean, like all of those commercials with all of those, if they're not showing you a commercial about a disease, they're showing you a commercial about a prescription, or they're showing you a commercial about like some get rich or how to sue somebody. And it's like that kind of propaganda is creating a society of like just anger and vengeance.
You
But
better than
that's
me. I
just
would have said a society of assholes, but yeah, you're right.
I'm trying to be diplomatic here. I'm trying to be, but yeah, so you know what I mean. But at the same time, like Americans say it how it is when it is. You know what I mean? I don't understand why their measurement system is so obscure.
Oh well,
Everything they
that comes from when we got away from British rule and all that, we wanted to, excuse me, they wanted to separate themselves as much as possible from them. That's why races are ran the way they are right here. I don't know if it counterclockwise or clockwise, but everything was about being different from
ah
where we came from to establish our own identity.
okay,
Still
okay,
stupid, but yeah, that's why.
ah well now it makes sense, but still doesn't make sense. Oh well, life is.
Well, yeah, America. I would say America's number one redeeming quality is no matter who you are out here, you can still hustle your way from nothing to something. And
Listen, that's
you
true.
can't. Yeah, everybody's got a shot. I'm not saying everybody's got the same shot, but everybody's got a shot. And depending on how hard you're willing to go, you can make it. And, if you want to be a CEO, you can
Mm-hmm.
do it. If you want to be
Mm-hmm.
a scammer, you can do it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but this is the land of opportunity. Unfortunately, it's also like the capital of capitalism. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's pretty much clawing people's eyes out, but the opportunity still exists. Let me ask you, everybody talks about Drake when they talk about Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Um, tell me some other artists from out there who are like really dope. It doesn't have to be hip hop either, because I love me some Celine Dion. I'm not gonna lie to you, but in
Okay.
your
Well.
eyes, who's killing
Okay.
it?
Well, if you like Celine, like I mean, then you got like the likes of Alanis Morissette and
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette. Then you got Avril Lavigne. She was doing big things for a bit. Um, I personally
I
work
was
with.
fucking with her till she started dating Tiger. That was weird. That was weird.
Yeah, that was a culture shock. That was a culture shock for real, because I never thought the skater girl would actually like anything to do with hip hop. But
Crazy.
then if you're looking for like independent local artists, there's like Private Name, Private Number. There's Ezza. There's Johnny Armani. Oh man, who else? Pluto Han. I mean, I do a bit of rapping here and there. Classified, he's another Canadian artist. Cardinal Official, he's Canadian too.
Yes, a
Yes,
pioneer.
yes. Cardi's nice with it, but Cardi Slang is one of the toughest Canadian songs ever. However, and I'm sorry, Cardi, you're gonna have to tell me I'm wrong personally to my face, but I made a song called Come On, okay? And the song was called Canada Come On. And the song detailed the area codes in Canada and all kinds of Canadian history. And I talked about like the Cardis and the Drakes and the Maestros. Maestros another one, the Maestros and the Classifieds and all of that. And then shortly after that, I heard Cardi come out with a song about Toronto. And as I'm talking right now, I get a notification on YouTube about Drake and Mo Ruff. But either way, no, bro, listen, we can go there. Um, I've influenced Drake before.
Speak on it. Speak on it. Here we
Okay.
go.
Now, here's the situation. I'm a season ticket holder for the Niagara River Lions. Shout out to the Niagara River Lions. Get your tickets at niagarariverlions.ca. Um, and in that, I was at a game, but this is before I was a season ticket holder. So I was at a game. I won a contest to shoot from half court. Now, before that, I had been practicing at the YMCA from half court, practicing half court shots at the Y. And I was asked why I was practicing that shot. And I said, you never know. There might someday be a contest where I get the chance to shoot from half court, and I want to be ready. So let's fast forward to when I was right. Let's just fast forward. So I get called down to the half court. You get the ball. I'm wearing my old school Reebok pumps. I pump them up a couple times, and I shoot. And I shot, and it hit the rim, and it bounced out. And I was like, okay. That's a dig. So I went to the gym the next day. And I said, forget this nonsense. I'm scoring this backwards. And it took 27 shots, but I shot it in backwards. So the final shot where I shot it in, I posted it online, tagged the YMCA, I tagged the Toronto Raptors, I tagged the Niagara River Lions, and then I watched the news later that day. Who was taking trick shots from his private basketball court?
Yeah, listen, man, we can get our influence from anywhere.
I'm telling you. I just find it to be too coincidental. It's just a little. It could have been any other day. It could have been any other circumstance. It could have been. He's had that basketball court this whole motherfucking time. The same day I.
There are no coincidences, brother.
Oh, God knows that to be true, and he keeps telling me all the time.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You have to forgive my ignorance. I'm not the biggest sports guy. But what happened
Okay.
to the Expos?
The Expos, they were sold to, I want to say they became the Arizona Diamondbacks, if I'm not mistaken, and that was back.
Oh, shit, you told me something.
That was back a few years. I was a teenager-ish, if not younger. Yeah, they got sold to the. I remember like Quebec had a slump in their sports because they used to have a team called the Quebec Nordiques in the NHL as well, and they had to dissolve that team, and we ended up getting Matt Sundin from them. Never did anything with them, but we played pretty hard and pretty well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what sports did you play? I mean, obviously basketball and hockey, but like
Hmm.
you said you had trouble getting into hockey.
Hmm.
Were you a big sports guy when you were younger? And if so, what sports team, what sports was really accepting of the brothers out there?
Okay, well, yes, I was big into sports for a period of time, but then I got more into production, so I haven't been able to spend as much time watching sports. I actually, this year, because of my lady, ended up spending the summer playing slow pitch, and I ended up on three or two teams. Um, and then, yeah, but I was really into hockey, and then football I played as well. I played volleyball for a bit, but like basketball, like if I go anywhere with a basketball, it's so um assumed that it's accepted. Like the first thing people say to me is, "Oh, you must play basketball." And it's like, yeah. And a lot of the time, my response is, "You'd be surprised. I'm actually better at hockey than I am basketball."
Yeah, anybody who's big and black is gonna get the basketball question. I've been there
Yep.
myself.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
It is.
So so let me ask you. I think this is dope too. By the way, this is real dope. This flip the script segment. Um,
Hmm.
I'm a nerd. You know, I like shit like quantum physics and history. Love history.
Okay. Okay.
Um, how about you? Like outside of music, there's no question you love music and you love the hip hop culture. I can tell that. I feel the vibes.
Hmm.
What's your thing? What were your favorite
It's
subjects in school?
it's really funny that you mentioned those two because those are like history was one of my best subjects. They used to call me Mr. Quote Unquote because of how effectively I could recite something from the textbook. And then um, physics. I studied physics in high school. Actually, I studied physics for a few years, from grade 11 through 13, and it taught me so much about kinetic motion and a lot of the things that have to do with music actually are physics oriented, like the propagation of sound and the frequency manipulation and all of that stuff. Those are all physics.
Right.
So that I am prone to being like I am a computer nerd, like um outside of the box kind of thing, like not putting it together. I could put it together if I sat down and took the time, watched a couple tutorials, but I can connect basically anything to something and make it work. It's just an innate ability. I could problem solve like you wouldn't believe. I see things from like I'm okay. I've suggested something like called rent equity, right? Which is so I'm a human rights advocate as well. So I try to make sure justice is served where
Dope.
possible. So like rent equity is basically something where they take a percentage of the rent and save it for you. After a year, you get to put it in an account where it gets interest. After 3 to 5 years, you can withdraw that money and either use it to renovate your house or relocate to a new place. Now
Right.
that's something that should be universal, right? But I'm
Yeah.
talking about it up. I'm trying to get it up here in hopes of it actually spreading to other places because I mean, we're talking global economies here, and there's a lot of things happening for a little number of people when there are more things possible for the masses.
Right. Right. See, that's dope and stuff like that. I always try to bring up during these interviews about man. I'm like proud to be a nerd, and I feel like the whole tough guy culture. It's not enough people out here speaking on things like that. Well, I mean, in the hip hop culture, because a lot of us are nerds. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
and it's cool. It's super. It's really cool. And what you
Hmm.
just said, being a humanitarian, that's dope. They're not really talking about that in the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nope.
you got to shoot
I
20 people. You
I
know,
have I have this one line where I say, in that song that I mentioned, um, it
the come
says
on song.
the Come On song. It says, "Can you be the best while you see success?" No, wait. Can you be the best while you beat the stress? See success as you help the rest. I digress to progress. It's best that we all work together. All these fights amongst ourselves ain't made no one better. Only thing we really need is love for ourselves. Be thankful for everything right down to the cell. Plan your path and do the math. Regard all detail. Achieve, perceive, then conceive. Believe you'll prevail. Pull the anchor and set sail. This whale don't tip. Nah, he breaks scales. So
Fire.
thank you. Thank you. You know what I mean? So that's just one of the songs that I've had on deck for years. And, it's just that's more of a production than a song. If
You
you,
know
if you
what?
know.
I like that you said that because I look at every song I do as a production, especially since I produce them as well too. It's not just writing lyrics or making a beat. It's like, if you're doing a play, you got to think about wardrobe, setting, the
Hmm
script, the
hmm
actors. It is a production.
hmm
And
Definitely.
I wish more people saw it that way too. It might, help them broaden their horizons a bit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. Like, I can't go into a situation expecting to grow with a closed mind.
Right.
And there are too many scenarios and circumstances where we're programmed to, or they try to program us to be less than what we are capable of.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's a fact.
like, I mean, okay, for example, um, it's not cool to hang with the cops in the hip hop culture. I know plenty. I went to school with plenty of people who are police officers. When I go to the local courthouse, they know me as the guy with the title. They have pictures with me holding the WWE Universal title,
Yeah.
grinning from ear to ear like little children. Now, who of all people would it be advantageous to associate with? Now, I'm not on no snitch game. I'm not like looking at what people are doing and talking about it. But at the same time, I'm associating with people who can influence the direction that I'm going. You got to think about it this way: if one person within that shielded brotherhood, says something, everybody else says that. So if that one person said that the block is an excellent individual, we should make sure he's taken care of. Everyone else is going to do that.
Well, yeah, I'm me personally. I'm not of the mind that all cops are bad because that's just not true. That's like saying
It's not.
all blacks are bad or all whites are bad. It's just not true. And a
Mm-mm.
lot of us have brothers, sisters, and uncles and cousins that are cops. So I
Yep.
mean, you got to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? There are horrible cops out there, and there is ultimately a systemic problem with the police. But when we get to the individuals, it's unfortunate, but you got to take them in a come, as you go basis.
Yep.
I don't believe in making blanket judgments because I've been the subject of that, and it doesn't feel
Yes.
good on the receiving end.
Nope. It does not. And that's why I enjoy having conversations. I'll talk to. Listen, man. If it's got ears, I'll talk to it. I don't care. You can understand it. You got ears. God gave you ears. Ears are to hear. This is me speaking. Show me that you understand. You know what I mean? This is what's up. That's where I'm at. Like, I see people in the streets and, like, I'll approach them depending, like, okay, for example, I read this one post about this guy who would go around town and he'd greet everybody he saw. And then one time his spouse asked him, "Why do you insist on talking to everybody?" He said, "I had a friend who passed away recently, and they said if only someone had acknowledged them, they wouldn't have taken their own life. So he makes sure that wherever possible, he acknowledges people to bring them back into the reality that they might have let go of based on whatever situation. And you could tell by the posture, the look, the demeanor of people when they're in the present now or when they're caught in their heads thinking about some complicated situation or circumstance.
Yeah, no, that's definitely commendable. Um, it's always good to reach out or at least to let people know that you're available. You
Hmm.
never know what somebody's going through. I agree with that totally. But
Hmm.
I gotta switch gears again real quick and go back to
Well,
something.
go
Tell me
ahead.
about this title.
This title. Okay. Oh boy. All right. So in 2010, I made my version of a title, a championship title, because I had decided that I had conquered my demons and I needed to reward myself. So in 2014, I had an opportunity to meet a wrestler. I was actually at the Seaway Mall and I saw that Rikishi was there. So my
Whoa!
Yeah. So with my last bit of gas, I flew home. I got the title. I flew back. Went up to. I couldn't even go up to him because there was like $25 for a signature. Like I said, I just used the last of my gas. So I'm standing there like a nerd with the title on my shoulder, like, Rikishi's right there, look at that. I'm in the same room as Rikishi. That's Rikishi right there, yeah. You know what I mean? So then everybody in line in front of me clears out, and then I'm just standing there. He's like, "You gonna come up?" I'm like, "I don't even have the money for that, bro." He's like, "Man, come here, brother." So I'm like, "Okay." So I approach him. He's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's a title." He's like, "You made this?" I said, "Yeah." I showed him that two of the plates on the side had screws in them, and I used that to remove the title. So I'd remove the plates from the title and change them for other plates because I was basically using belt buckles. So I was like, okay. So then the next year, Rikishi ends up in the Hall of Fame. And the WWE changes the titles. The WWE changed the title so that the side plates were replaceable. I kid you not, I had to save for like 3 years, but I saved for the title. And the plates line up damn near exactly. Give me a second. Hold on. This is something that I have to prove again. Well, not even prove. This is something I got to show you because it's hard to believe that without seeing something, I was able to replicate it, right? But uh, as I bring these titles into the room, see, this is my title.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's the one I made.
Damn!
This is the one I influenced.
Fire! Yeah,
If you
that's
look at
very similar.
now, if you look right here at the top, look at the plates.
You bring them in. Can you bring them in just a little closer?
Hold on, let me bring this closer here.
Yeah.
The plates, the screws and the plates almost line up exactly.
You spoke that into existence. Well, shit, you did more than speak. You built it into existence.
So now the funny thing is, on three significant dates, the WWE came to town, and we ended up upgraded or in a better position. So I know my work paid off, but at the same time, brother, what I'm telling you, we influence a lot more than we get credit for.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Let,
man,
let me ask you too, just because I'm curious.
yeah.
Like, is that belt the one you made? How heavy is that about?
The belt that I made is about between 6 to 8 pounds.
Damn,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dope. That's really dope.
Their belt is about 8 to 10 pounds. So yeah.
Shit, that's
Thank
dope,
you,
bro.
thank you, thank you. So
Damn.
it's just life, man. It's just life. It's just you kind of gotta. Sometimes you gotta give yourself roses. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Listen, I promote all sorts of creativity, man. Like I said, I'm a nerd first. Forget about everything
Hmm.
else, man. Like I love music, but if we're being honest, music is just math. When you break it down, man, and physics, like you mentioned earlier. Um,
Hmm.
I think any creativity, whether you're writing the 16 or you're creating a belt, and I think that's amazing. And also, what I think is amazing is the circumstances that lead up to that creativity.
Hmm. Because to be honest, I made the belt because I never I I always wanted it from when I was like 6 years, from when I was a kid, youth kid. But it was never reasonable for me to drop a grand basically on a frivolous item. But then I realized it's not frivolous because the amount of attention I've gotten with it is dumbfounding. Dumbfounding. It's a good marketing tool. I wear it upside down because I do a podcast called Me and the Boys Wrestling with my friend James Owen Brown. Check out at POEZ on YouTube, by the way. And basically people look at it like they'll stop, they'll slow down, they'll look at it and be like, "You're wearing it upside down." I'll be like, "No, it's the M for Me and the Boys Wrestling." Then I'll break down the podcast and I'll tell them about it, and then we'll go into the whole story about it. You know what I mean? It's like people are so susceptible to certain brands
Mhm.
and certain triggers, we'll say. So I kind of feel manipulative using it that way, but at the same time, I don't.
No, it's an advertising tool. There's nothing wrong
Yes.
with it. It's no different than wearing a shirt with your company logo on it.
Mm, yeah. Or a jersey with your name on the back.
Yeah. No, no, it's art too. Anything that provokes thought or discussion, I'm for all of that. I'm for all of it, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan of creativity. I'm a big
Hmm.
fan of brain power. People, you know, using ingenuity to accomplish their goals. Like I love it, man. I, I'm really I'm really pumped. I was enjoying the interview, but this whole flip the script thing, I'm
Hmm.
glad you did that because I've been on a promo run for the last 4 or 5 months, and
Okay.
I never get to hit all the topics that I want. I've dealt with some great people, had some great interviews, but there's so many other things that I like to talk about that have nothing to do with hip hop. And I love the fact that this gave me the chance to talk about other things. I felt like, usually after the interview, we stop recording and then me and the hosts go back and forth and kick it. But I feel like we got to do that on camera, and that's really dope. This interview was set apart from every other interview I've done in that. Like that's just crazy to me. I
I appreciate that. I
yeah, no,
appreciate
very
that.
dope, very
All right.
dope.
All right. Well, we are coming close to the end of it. And you know what? I think you've actually handled that whole segment the best and for the longest. You
Yeah,
have
I'm
like
sorry. I know I'm a little
no, no,
negative
no. Don't be sorry.
sometimes.
Don't be sorry. This show is for you, bro. This is about you and what you do. So you know what I mean. For you to take the reins like that, that's why I flip the script. So someone will just, you know what I mean. Like sometimes people like, okay, no, I don't have anything to say, and then I go back and talk to them for another half an hour. This time, I was able to share the air with my peer. You know what I mean? Like another one of those times, and I appreciate the fact that you took enough interest in what I'm doing to have any questions for what's going on. So you know what, we definitely got to touch base again. um the Terrell Effect is on Saturday at 12 p.m. Your album is coming out on December 19th.
Yep.
Okay.
December 19th, the Coliseum.
All right. Now, are we going to link up before and give them a preview? Or are we going to link up like an exclusive preview? Or are we going to link them after and make sure they caught it?
You know what? I think it would be doper if we did an exclusive preview.
All
Just my
right.
thought. I think, before other people, the masses get a chance to hear it, man. I would like to come on here and definitely be able to break it down with you.
All right. That sounds great. That sounds great. So, what I'll do is I'll take one of those other pictures. Send me, like, I guess, do you have the cover art for the album?
Yep.
If you could send me that, I will add it to the front of a picture and make the promo for the Saturday before the 19th.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
All right. All right. So is there anyone you want to shout out or hail up?
Oh yeah, man! Shout out to my wife and my three daughters, Kayla, Brianna, and Chelsea, and my wife Ashante. Shout out to Front Row Records, my brother Nice, the Future, and Bayer, and everybody in Queens.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right. So for Reno RX, this is the block. Episode 180 of Candid Conversations is coming to a wrap. Bless up. We out.